save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way, Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way, Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go? I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria?
Tell me.
Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh, sure, sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Which way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Which way Nigeria is heading to?
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way?
Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?
Way to go?
I love my fatherland.
Oh sure.
I want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
first transaction. The money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. You can call me on 0749737767 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR and 5 pounds free.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, and a very good evening and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki and I'll be taking you through the evening of the 15th of September 2021. It's all about the evening program on Starr Radio UK every Wednesday, where you can join myself, where I'll be taking you through some of what is happening in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and all about the self-determination and also some of the news going around the globe. But the most important thing is I'd like to appreciate my producer, Frank and Archie, working tirelessly behind the scene, making sure that we can still broadcast back to all our viewers from around the globe, wherever you are. And this is Starr Radio UK. A lot of people keep saying to somebody like me that believe in self-determination, let us eliminate that word Nigeria. But like my producer always say that, until the country finally goes into the full disintegration, then we will have a country of our own called the Yoruba Nation, the Middle Belt, and likewise, the Biafra as well. But we still also have millions of people that believe that Nigeria can work for whatever reasons. Whether they believe that is a leadership problem, some believe that, maybe if the youth are given opportunity, we can change things around. But someone like me believe that, we need to go back to the roots. And what is the root? The root is all about, who we are before Nigeria. Because if we don't go back to the root, we will continue to mislead the next generation that will be coming on after us. Let us also remember that, yes, we've had crises before. But this time around, in 1914, just about 100 years ago, a country was brought together by the colonial master, Great Britain. And then after 1914, there was a lot of hiccups. There was a lot of problems. But in 1959, we went into what could have been maybe the change maker. An election was held in 1959. And I can tell you, we've now found out and we've known what happened during the period of that 1959 till date. But what I can tell you to those of you that are listening to us, whether you are from Nigeria, whether you are from Uganda, from Kenya, and you probably have been watching a lot of things happening in Nigeria. This evening, I want to discuss about the 6 individuals that have just been added onto the global terrorists in UAE. How come UAE, United Arab Emirates, is fast ahead of Nigeria when it comes to those behind the sponsor of terrorists in the country and outside the country as well? Once again, I say good evening, welcome, and as we're settling into the broadcast this evening, I'll be driving you home. We'll be giving you all the updates happening from New York, where it's already happening since yesterday, the United Nations 76th General Assembly. And as you can tell, we're also holding the Million March that is currently taking place as well in New York. So I'll be giving you all the snips of that. We've been broadcasting that since morning, but I'll be telling you more on that. It's not the first time that United Arab Emirates, known as UAE, has put Nigeria again on the map of what we can call sponsor of terrorism, sponsor of what we now call one of the most deadliest terrorist groups in the world is presently in Nigeria. What is the take of the federal government on this new report? A very good evening to you, Matthew. Good evening to you from all our viewers from Ibadan, from Oyo State, from Kwara, from Abeokuta in Ogun State, from Ijebu-Ode to Shagamu, from those of you in Lagos, from Idumota to Alimosho, from those of you in Egypt, from those of you in Qatar, in Kuwait, and those of you in Oman, Libya, Sierra Leone, Benin Republic. Why is the federal government or the DSS still holding on to 2 of our self-determination promoter? Lady K, as is known, is still being held by the DSS even after, they have got a bail injunction for them. But the federal government have decided, to charge Lady K and likewise, Oladele, for terrorism. And one thing I would like to say is, are they the ones sponsoring terrorism? No. The government knows those that are behind this atrocity, but the federal government of Nigeria have decided to look away rather than dealing with the problem, but trying to shift the blame on the others that have not done so. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is exactly 12 minutes past 1800 hours, or we could say, for those of you in Nigeria, 12 minutes past 6 p.m. Let us settle in. If you're watching us from the northern part of the country, why is it taking so long to end the corruption when it comes to money that should have been used, invested, for millions of our soldiers, or probably thousands of them that have eventually died because of the negligence of the country, the negligence of not giving the soldiers the right equipment to fight back, these manic that have killed millions of people. What do we know about these 6 individuals? Who are they? And what part of the country? Because we do know that, if we have to slim it down, we can say terrorism does not literally tell you who they are, whether you are, from different ethnic groups. But one thing we know is terrorism has been taking place in Nigeria while the federal government of Nigeria has kind of looked away from that as well. So this evening, it's all about that discussion, and then we'll be telling you more, on some other areas that we're going to be discussing as well. High-profile Nigerians suspected to be financing terrorism, but the federal government of Nigeria is not doing as much as we would love them to do. Can we end it? Can we stop it? Can we work with them? Gumi, I'm sure a lot of you know who that person is, has continuously tell us that it is possible, because if we do not come to agreement, just as they've done with the, during the, if you remember, when we were having the crisis in Niger Delta, so it's actually now mixing it up as well. Have you heard the latest from the honorable speaker, as you call him, Femi Gbajabiamila, what he's saying about those agitating for Biafra nation, Yoruba nation, and the Middle Belt? I'll be telling you a little bit that as well this evening. So make sure you sit tight and let's take you through. It could be a little bit bumpy, like my producer will always say in the morning, but be rest assured, the journey will be smooth before the end of the broadcast. Exactly 14 minutes past, and I welcome each and every one of you that have settling in. Remember to follow us on Starr Radio UK, on Twitter, where we are streaming, on YouTube, and likewise on all our social media handles. But the best way to watch and listen to us is to make sure that you download the apps on Starr Radio UK. If you're sending money home as well to your loved ones, remember to use SendWave as well. What do we know about terrorism? When we talk about terrorism in Nigeria, where is Nigeria when it comes to the Global Terrorism Index? A lot of Nigerians might not be aware of that. Let me first tell you what the UK government is saying when it comes to traveling to Nigeria, the foreign travel advice. For those of you that are living in the United Kingdom, whether in England, in Wales, in Scotland, and you're planning to go to Nigeria for whatever reason, this is the advice. The UK government, this is the update on their website, and then we look into some of that. Terrorists are very likely to carry out attacks in Nigeria. Attacks could be indiscriminated and could affect Western interests, as well as places visited by tourists. Most attacks are conducted by Boko Haram, or those we call, ISWA, Islamic State West Africa, and this occur in Borno State. We do know that it's no longer in Borno anymore. Also in Yobe, Adamawa State, and in the Northeast. According to the UK counter-terrorism policy, as information and advice on making sure you're staying safe while you are in Nigeria and what to do in the event of terrorist attack. Have you witnessed one? Maybe you were somewhere abroad and there was an attack which was linked to terrorists about some 20 years ago or thereabout. If you remember, 9/11? Were you in that surroundings? Over the weekend on Saturday, while we were in Liverpool with the up-to-date, arms trade fair deal that was happening in Liverpool, where again a lot of countries like Nigeria are being sold weapons. And do you know where the weapons end up? Those weapons end up in the hands of terrorists. I was also looking at the report of one of the electoral in Nigeria that did what we call a 10-year background of 20,000 naira. That is all it costs if you make to transport arms in Nigeria. 20,000 naira is all it costs to move weapons in Nigeria. And do you also know how much it costs if you're moving the ammunition? If you're meant to be moving ammunition, that also is just about 5,000 naira. And the question remains is, how safe are you as a Nigerian watching me right now? How safe are you as a diaspora? Let's look a little bit more for the benefit of those that are living in United Kingdom or those of you living outside Nigeria that might want to travel to Nigeria so that you do not get caught up rather into being attacked, especially as at yesterday, one of the emir was kidnapped right under the nose of the federal government between Abuja and Kaduna Road. Last week, 18 Yorubas were kidnapped from Akoko in Ondo State. What are the governors doing when it comes to insecurity? They are the chief security of the state, but we can still see there's a lot of atrocity, crime against humanity that is happening as well. Humanitarian staff and assets have been targeted during the attack in the northeast, including in the garrison towns and on the road. Humanitarian sites have also been targeted. We have a lot of Nigerians, or people will say, we are not more Nigerians, that have been going on for whatever NGOs or whatever they do, but they have also become a target. Recent attacks have included, again, this is coming from the Foreign Office advice to those of us that are living in the United Kingdom that might want to travel to Nigeria. On the 28th of November 2020, at least 70 civilians were killed and others were wounded and abducted in Jeri local government area of Borno State by insurgents. These are not insurgents, these are full-blown terrorists. On the 22nd of July 2022, 5 aid workers, including a staff from the Action Against Hunger, the International Rescue Committee, and the Reach Initiative and the Borno State Emergency Management, were executed by what we call ISWAP, Islamic State West Africa. On the 2nd of July 2020, shots were fired at the UN Humanitarian Air Service flight in Damas in Borno State. On the 13th of June 2020, insurgents attacked Mungono town, killing at least 38 civilians and targeting humanitarian hub located in the town. On the 9th of June 2020, insurgents are reported to have killed around 81 civilians and a fellow village. And my question then is, where is the world? Where and how come the whole world has kept quiet with all the killings that is taking place in Nigeria? United Arab Emirates have come out to say 6 Nigerians barely under 12 months after telling us of the funding of another 6 to Boko Haram. Why is the Nigerian government complicit, not telling us the truth, giving us the background? Those sponsored, those attacking, killing millions of Nigerians since the 6 years of the APC government. My name is Olayomi Koiki once again. I welcome you to Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station, and this is how we do it. But before we go into that conversation, I always say to myself, are we really under pressure in Nigeria? Are we really under pressure? Are we under pressure in Nigeria? And if we are under pressure, who is going to help us out? Should we now tell the international community to come and assist? Or should we sit back and more people are killed? Let's hear this. We have about 1,960 porous border, and that means that it seems Nigeria is really under pressure. Once again, that is Raskimono. Are we under pressure in Nigeria? That is the question we're asking all our viewers this evening. What is the United Nations saying about the terrorist attack in Nigeria? As we know, a lot of the Yorubas and the indigenous people are right in front of the UN building for the 76th General Assembly, but they are making sure that our noise is being heard right inside the building. I say good evening as you're joining into the program. It is Starr Radio UK, Niger Voices, every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. According to the report from the United Nations, Nigeria Security Council condemns the heinous terrorist attack attributed to Boko Haram. Have you or your family been affected in any way with the terrorist attack in Nigeria? Let us hear your view. Put the comment through and we'll read it out in just about a few minutes. Good evening to those of you once again on YouTube, on Instagram as you're joining us. I say good evening. It's called Niger Voices every Wednesday. Today's date is the 15th of September 2021. Are we really under pressure in Nigeria? And if we are under pressure, who do we seek the assistance so that we can come out of the pressure? Is Africa under threat, especially with the global terrorism index? Let's quickly come into that conversation once again when we talk about the terrorist attack, in Nigeria. When we look at the position of Nigeria under the global terrorism index, what position is Nigeria as of today? When we look at the report that came out between, according to the statistics that we have, Nigeria has been ranked number 3 when it comes to the global terrorism index. Number 3. And it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. In Nigeria, political, economic, and social grievances are causing violence and death. Several militant groups are active in the country, leading to attacks to both the civilian. The military are not behind as well, left behind rather. Boko Haram is the deadliest terrorist group and also affiliated to what we call the Islamic State. Over the years, the terrorism index in Nigeria experienced an increase rather than decrease. As of 2019, the indicator stood at 8.3. The index measures the direct and the indirect impact of terrorism on the scale from 0 to 10, the highest impact. Despite a decrease compared to the previous 5 years, Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest terrorism threat in the world. In 2019, it recorded the second largest number of deaths related to terrorism worldwide. So, let me break that down for the benefit of those of you that might not understand that. So, you are more likely to die in Nigeria, not for mosquito bite, not for your malaria, not for the poor ventilation, the welfare. You probably have not eaten, you can still survive that. But you are more likely to die of a terrorist attack. And that has now become something that we've been getting a lot of information. Let's go back to what one of the former Navy comrade was telling us about the terrorist attack in Nigeria. You all had him on that full interview. Retired naval officer Olayomi. He was telling us something regarding those behind the sponsor of these deadliest group that is now creating more havoc to the lives of so many Nigerians. The Nigerian Defense Academy was attacked, and you would have wondered that if these people are becoming more dangerous, and the UAE, where I'm actually going tonight, has been able to give us names, not just telling us, oh, we have 6 Nigerians that we believe are terrorists, but they've been able to give us the names as well. But in Nigeria, the federal government has not given us any name. But let's hear what the former Navy Commander Olayomi has to tell us some few weeks back.
Message to create fear and to show the military that we can come for you and there's nothing you can do. You may not know, I don't know whether it's out in the news, that the major has been killed. Belongs to some groups, and I know about 3 hours ago his body was found. He has been killed. So it's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to my brother that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are...
Once again, a very, very good evening and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I would like to welcome every one of you. And I say good evening, welcome, as we tell you that Nigeria, you are more likely to die for a terrorist attack. Once again, let's finish that video clip of the comrade Olayomi.
Sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care, as long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head, and they want to achieve. So, these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians.
That is where I want us to focus the attention. It was able to give us a very good clarity about the sponsor of these terrorist attacks. And as I speak to you right now, just before coming on air, Nigerian troops in Borno attacked again by Boko Haram fighters. 6 soldiers have been killed. That is the report that we're getting from Borno State. Let's finish hearing from Comrade, the former Navy officer, Comrade Olayomi.
This part of what you just spoke about now.
Okay, so you've heard him there. Now let's come back to the UAE, United Arab Emirates. If the United Arab Emirates, it seems Nigeria is really under pressure. Let's see a little bit from that. The people might suffer. There is no food. You can't get to the farm. You can't travel within interstate. Do you know why? Because the sponsor of the terrorist is being shielded by the current government of the Buhari regime. UAE places 6 Nigerians on the terrorist list barely 12 months after jailing 6. Nigerians are wondering if United Arab Emirates is ahead of this, monster. Why is the Nigerian government not doing much to the issue on ground Is it because the Nigerian government is trying to protect some individuals, some people that they are aware of? We've been told before by the former deputy governor of Central Bank, Dr. Obadiah Malafia, that told us that he is aware, because he doesn't just have PhD for nothing, that the people behind the sponsor of the Boko Haram were moving weapons while we were in the lockdown in Nigeria. Do you remember that lockdown where they were stockpiling all the food, and millions of Nigerians eventually, find out where all this warehouse, and we were looking and watching the videos and asking, how come they were skipping all this food when more Nigerians were hungry? But now, UAE. But this is what your Attorney General of the Federation told us then, when Boko Haram that were being funded by the Nigerians were jailed. But up to date, nobody has been jailed in Nigeria. But this is what the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, told us some 12 months ago.
Convictions of Nigerians allegedly involved in terrorism financing in the United Arab Emirates. That gave rise to a wider and far-reaching investigations in Nigeria, and I'm happy to report that arising from the wider coverage investigations that have been conducted in Nigeria.
The society, according to the police minister. Terrorists also. These are recent incidents that happened in less than 72 hours. Terrorists had the gut, the capacity to set ablaze the house of the Zamfara speaker in what we know as a fresh attack yesterday. Again, terrorists will be integrated back into the society, according to the federal government. On the 13th of September, just about 72 hours ago as well, terrorists were able to overrun a military base in Zamfara state despite a shutdown of the mobile phone services. They were also able to kill 10 soldiers and 2 policemen. Again, we can confirm that the Kaduna Catholic priest that was abducted has regained freedom after paying ransom to the terrorists. Again, terrorists have killed a soldier, adopted a housewife, and had 2 children in Megama opposite Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital in Zaria. Remember what I told you at the beginning, that you are more likely, according to the report, of being killed by terrorists in Nigeria as being dying of a motor accident. This is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Again, 2 hours ago, Benue State internal display person at risk of being recruited by terrorists and other terrorist officials are warning. So we know we have these huge amount of IDP camp in different parts of the country. And do you understand the meaning of IDP? Do you know the reason why we have IDP in the first place? The reason is because most of them have been internally displaced persons, have been moved away from their community by the same terrorists that we are discussing this evening. 15th of September 2021 is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I'd like to say thank you very much to those of you that have tuned in and listening to us from different parts of the globe. We say we can catch up some of your comments in just about a few minutes, but bear with us. And I would like to say again that if you're watching us and you're traveling to Nigeria or you live in Nigeria, please bear it at the back of your mind that you are more likely to die of being killed by terrorist attack. We'll be telling you more about what Gbajabiamila Mila, the Speaker of House of Assembly, on what he said on some of us that believe that Nigeria needs to go into disintegration. I'll be telling you on that at about 7 p.m. when we move into the next part of the program. But for now, it's just coming up to 18:39. We're lining up the next music for you in just about a few minutes. But like I always say, if you join us, a very good evening to you, to my sweet mother that have just joined us as well. Lady K must be free, Oladile must be free, Chief Sunday Igboho is not a criminal. Very good evening to you, Mr. Simon Adebisi. Many civilians consumed, yes, by terrorists. Yoruba Nation now, no retreat, no surrender. Good evening to you, Mrs. Nikki Lati. Yoruba Nation, no going back. Adegbola Joe, no going back. Please also follow us on Star Radio UK. Aziz Wasiu says a very good evening as well. Good evening to everyone that have joined us. I can spot you there, a very sweet mother as well, Mrs. Abiodun Taiwo. Some of those individuals working tirelessly, regardless of whatever you might say. These individuals will be most of our heroes by the time we get to the final part as well. Also to all our Yoruba warriors at home that are working tirelessly day in, day out, in the midst of the so much, attack. Because when you tell people that there is terrorists in Nigeria, they're like, really? But when you start giving them these statistics, based on the record that we have, all these statistics I've been giving you in the last 1 hour are not a report I took myself. These are reports given to us by those that understand the impact, the havoc that terrorists could do. Go back and look at what happened in 2011 during the Twin Tower building that eventually came down by the terrorist attack. That tells you the capacity. Even though that changed the world, even though that also stopped more influence of terrorists into America, but their next point of destination is now Nigeria. And that is why we are demanding a total disintegration of that of Nigeria. My question is, for those of you that are watching us, why has it taken the Nigerian government 12 months ago that the UAE was able to jail 6 Nigerians funding Boko Haram? So what do we know about this latest news coming out from the UAE, United Arab Emirates? According to development, follow the United Arab Emirates Cabinet Resolution number 83 of 2021, designating 38 individuals and 15 entities as those supporting, financing terrorism in the country. According to the Al Arabiya News, the decision is part of the UAE's effort in disrupting the network associated with financing of terrorism and forestalling whatever plans they might have. Law enforcement agencies in the country have been directed to take necessary actions against the individuals or the entities or anyone associated with them. The 6 Nigerians, and the names are as follows: Abdurrahman Musa, Saliu Yusuf Adamu, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Muhammad Ibrahim Isa, Ibrahim Ali Al-Yassan, Surujo Abubakar Muhammad. Some of the other nationalities are also Ahmad Abdullahi, Muhammad Aliyum from UAE, Muhammad Saka, and so many of them like that. But my focus are the ones from Nigeria. When you read the names, it also freaks you out. Who are those individuals? What is the DSS or the SSS of Nigeria doing to give us a background check of some of these individuals rather than keeping and holding somebody like Lady K and Oladele and charging them for terrorism that they do not have any proof or any evidence more than some of these, especially Lady K, that was discussing part of what I'm saying now, the atrocity, the negligence of the government on the people, and the reason why we want to break out. She has not put any funding to support terrorism. She has not sponsored any terrorism attack on the Nigerian government. But we do know as we speak right now. Thank you very much, Ibukun. Well done to you, Koiki Media team. Collectively, we're making the right impact globally. Proceed, Yoruba Nation now. Mia's Gold, good evening to you. Justin Reason, I found out about IDP then. Yes, we still have more than hundreds of IDP, internal displaced persons across the country. My focus on Nigeria this evening is, why is the Nigerian government refusing to give us the names and the sponsor of those behind the terrorism attack in Nigeria? 12 months ago, 6 Nigerians were jailed for what? For funding Boko Haram. Where do Boko Haram get, apart from the kidnapping and the extortion and the ransom being paid by so many people, a lot of Nigerians do not even understand that your life is more likely to be taken away in Nigeria because of terrorists that is operating on ground. Once again, a very good evening. I welcome you all, and as we continue to monitor, the protest ground currently going on in New York, opposite the United Nations building. I'd like to appreciate my producer once more and everyone. Tomorrow is going to be the property hour. Make sure you join us on Star Radio UK. And like I always say, the best way to listen to us on Star Radio UK, download our apps and do follow us as well. Thank you very much to all our viewers from around the globe, and make sure you do follow us on all our social media handle. We're going to read more of your comments as well. Just bear with us, and then we continue to give you all the news. At 7 o'clock, I'll be looking at what is Femi Gbagabamila, the Speaker to the House of Rep, saying, discussing about us, those of us that want out from Nigeria. Once again, it is still Star Radio UK. It's coming up to 18:45. That is just about almost 6:45 for those of you that might not understand the Greenwich time zone that I'm using there. So let's say good evening to Badamose Ismailia. Good evening to you on Star Radio UK. Please do help us to also tell your friends. Every Wednesday we're live here. This program has been running for the last 4 years, and we will continue the program. If you'd like to sponsor this particular program, this segment of Star Radio UK Nigeria Voices, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to my producer, where we can be able to tell you everything that you need to know when it comes to the sponsorship of the program. I'd like to also appreciate one of our, as a brand ambassador as well, to Olu Foods. I'd like to appreciate them, for their support, on this segment of Nigeria Voices as well. You can follow or watch or listen to some of their product that they do have. They have quite a lot, from their coconut chips to their plantain crisps, which I love so much, especially the new one that are coming out as well. And also you can get all the necessary food stuff from them, either from their website or by visiting one of their offices, whether in America or in Nigeria or here in the United Kingdom, where you can follow them as well. www.oluolufoods.com. Olu Food is where it's all happening when you talk about what it means with the taste of Africa as well. 100% when it comes to some of their products, and very, very organic as well, from their yam flour to their plantain flour to their gari, and also to their beans flour that I do love so much when I'm doing the beans cake. You can also find out about more on those products and the ranges of them as well, from the coconut range, rice and beans of Olu. And for those of you that are from Abeokuta or precisely in Ogun State, like someone like me that love Ofada rice with the stew, you can get that from them as well. And when you talk about their palm oil, it is the best. Make sure you follow them as well, where you can get it from gallon to a liter, and that also you can use as well. And if you're thinking about palm wine, you can get that as well from Olu Food. Once again, and so many of their products that they do have. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. 6 Nigerians were jailed, but yet the Nigerian government, as we speak, have not been able to give us names of those behind most of it. And if you look at the news in Nigeria, look at the trend of the news every week. There's no week that we are not discussing a terrorist attack, somebody has been kidnapped, and most of the time, a lot of Nigerians just pay their way out to these terrorists without even reporting it to the security. Because reporting it to the Nigerian security is more or less like wasting your time and energy. As we're getting ready, like I said, to give you the next track that we are bringing out in just about a few minutes. This is in our own local language. For those of you that might not understand, you might just want to shake your head, like they say, shake your body, shake your body, shake your body. It's called Yoruba G Masum. A lot of the Yorubas, a lot of people are, but I can tell it's all happening right here, whether from the studio or from outside the studio where we are reporting from as well. Again, part of the report, terrorist killed soldier as kidnap of lecturers, 6 kids aborted as well. Again, one of the emir that was traveling on the Kaduna highway doesn't seem, to be making it out. And the report says terrorist attack adopted the emir of Ugundu, according to the news coming out as well. So much pain as a lot of Nigerians are waking up daily to find out what is the government doing. 6 years of this government, nothing seems to be working when it comes to the terrorist attack on Nigerians. Once again, a very good evening. This is still Starr Radio UK. We're just about 9 minutes before 7 p.m. where we're going to be discussing the next segment of it. This is still Niger Voices focused on Nigeria. What is the impact of this grazing bill that have now come into effect? What is the situation in your... Once again, it's all happening at the UN building as we speak right now, the UN headquarters rather, demanding a full referendum to opt out of Nigeria by all the indigenous owner of the land. According to the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed says Twitter will be lifted very soon, but already over 246 billion naira have been lost on Twitter in the last 100 days. Are you aware that the governor of Kano State son just graduated from region where the daughter graduated from the LS winning APC? I remain a staunch supporter of PDP. We're just giving you some of the updates from Nigeria this evening, all the way on Starr Radio UK. Once again, if you'd like to sponsor the program, do get in touch with our producer. Once again, I say good evening and welcome to Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Over 500 Nigerian groups on Facebook has now begun campaign for Buhari's successor. It doesn't seem to be going well in Adamawa, where 7 persons have been killed in Adamawa over allegation of witchcraft in 21st century. Like I said, at 7 o'clock, in just about 4 minutes, I'll be telling you what the speaker, Bajabi Amila, is telling us when it comes to IPOB, Yoruba Nation Agitator. It's comparing us, saying they are not different to Boko Haram terrorists. Are we terrorists? You're going to be telling me that at 7 o'clock. Who is Femi Gbajabiamila? What do we know about him? Over a decade he's been in the house. What do we know more about him that is now comparing the IPOB and the Yoruba agitator as a Boko Haram that we have just been discussing in the last 1 hour? He once lived in America and there's a lot of allegation on him, which is still pending, that it seems he took away some money from some individuals. And even though he says, I repaid the money back, but I'm sure those allegations is not going anywhere as we speak right now. He has refuted so many times that he was never convicted while he was in America. But a lot of people still have the story that Femi Gbajabiamila, we call him Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, is still fighting the battle of his life over fraud allegations. So what do we know about this man called Femi Gbajabiamila? Currently is the Speaker of the 9th National Assembly. For years, at the age of 56, Femi Gbajabiamila has been accused of perpetrating fraud in the United States of America. It's not the first time that we've seen, we've listened to, fraud allegations, either by those working with the governors, working with the president, or individuals from Nigeria. If you follow the trend of the current governor of Ogun State, one of his aides is currently being held in America as we speak right now for fraud as well. But according to the information that we have, he obtained a law degree where he practiced, just like so many individuals or the diaspora, as we call them, are currently practicing, whether you're a cab driver, you work with the NHS, you work in the hospital, you work as a carer, whatever job you do, or you're self-employed. And sometimes you live there for over 2 decades or more or less. But sometimes you go through what kind of, what we called going against the law of the country. So, at some point in the life of Femi Gbajabiamila, that is the current speaker, the 9th Assembly in Nigeria, he also lived in America, just like so many diaspora. But that is not what matters. What matters is he was practicing law until his return to Nigeria to join partisan politics from the platform of what we know then as the Alliance for Democracy AD. But according to Sarah reporters, Femi Gbajabiamila, the current 9th Speaker of the House of Assembly in Abuja, was found guilty of fraud by the U.S. Supreme Court of Georgia in February 2007 and was also suspended from practicing law in the United States of America for the offense. Once again, a good evening and welcome to those of you that have joined us. It's exactly 7 p.m. I'll be looking into more stories, more reports, and at about 7:30, I'll be telling you everything you need to know when it comes to the Yoruba nation, where we are, what is happening, and what more needs to be done. Specifically, according to Sarah reporters, state that Femi Gbajabiamila, with bar number 288330, was suspended from practicing law in the U.S. for 36 months on the February 26, 2007 by the highest court in the state of Georgia. According to the story, Femi Gbajabiamila admitted to withholding $25,000 from his client before the court. The $25,000 was received by Femi Gbajabiamila, your current House of Rep Speaker, as damages claims for his client. But the client didn't receive the money at the time the report stated. The Georgia Supreme Court ruling The Supreme Court of Georgia ruled on Femi Gbajabiamila, the current Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, according to Sahara Reporter's story. This disciplinary matter is before the Court of Respondent Femi Gbajabiamila petition for voluntary discipline, which was filed under the Bar Rule 4-227B 2 before a formal complaint was issued. In his petition, Gbaja admits violating Rule 115 of the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct set for the Bar Rule 4102. Although a violation of this rule is punishable by disbandment, Gbaja requests the imposition of a 24-month suspension. He agrees, however, to accepting a suspension of up to 36 months. The State Bar has no objection to the acceptance of Gbaja's petition so long as the suspension is not more than 36 months in duration. Gbaja, who has only been a member of the bar since 2001, admits that he accepted payment of $25,000 as a settlement of a client's personal injury claim. Deposit those funds in his attorney trust account in January 2003, failed to promptly disburse those funds to his client, withdrew those funds for his own use, closed his practice, and then you know where? Moved to a country called Nigeria. So you can get the gist of who this man is. Once again, it's Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's exactly 3 minutes past the hour. Gbaja, as is known, because a lot of diaspora tend to use different names or shorten the names for whatever reason that pleases them. But this individual that is the current Speaker of the House of Representatives is now comparing the Yoruba agitators or the Yoruba movement, lower chamber, yes, thank you very much, Olatunji Awofeso. In 2007, the same man that is now what we call part of the corrupt system that has embedded millions of Nigerians that still wants to be the next politician and want us to keep one Nigeria so that they would have their own turn to steal, to make life miserable, to put the lives of millions of Nigerians in danger, where terrorists has killed more Nigerians than you dying of hunger. He moved back to Nigeria, but because Nigeria is a lawless country that doesn't do any background check on individuals, although Gbaja ultimately paid back $25,000 to his client in 2006, but he admits his conduct violated Rule H1 and that as a result is subject to disbandment. In the mitigation of his action, Gbaja asserts that he has cooperated fully with the disciplinary. Why did the money not eventually go to the client as at the time it was meant to? But let's go back to the story that has come out of the same person we are discussing this evening. What has he said? What is he saying? Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and the time is 5 minutes past 7 p.m. the 15th of September 2021. We've been discussing about the terrorists, but this speaker is now saying that we are not different from Boko Haram terrorists. In his welcome remark at the Wednesday plenary of the Green Chamber, Femi Gbajabiamila alleged that miscreants in the southern Nigeria masquerading as separatists and activists have emerged to wreak havoc. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has likened the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra, known as IPOB in the southeast region, and the groups agitating for the self-determination of the Yoruba nation in the southwest to those of Boko Haram and Islamic State West African province. In his welcome remarks at Wednesday plenary of the Green Chamber, Gbajabiamila alleged that miscreants in the southern Nigeria masquerading as separatists and activists have emerged to wreak havoc. So, for those of us that are watching us this evening, my question then is, what havoc has IPOB, what havoc has the Yorubas, what havoc has the Middle Belt, what havoc have we done to Nigeria that Femi Gbajabiamila has decided that we should be compared to Boko Haram? The same Boko Haram that have been giving you the analysis and the breakdown of some of their atrocities in the last 1 hour of the beginning of the segment of Naija Voices. Femi Gbajabiamila, the Speaker of the lower chambers today, has now said, these individuals are not going to set you up. They will rather make life more miserable for you. But why has he decided to label us as Boko Haram equivalent when we have not carried any arms, we have not attacked any government institution, we have not shut down as the Boko Haram terrorists did on the July the 20th when they took down one of the Nigerian aircraft that was flying overhead. They used what we know as the RPG to bring it down. They've gone to the Nigerian Defense Academy. They've killed the major. They've killed the soldiers. They've taken away the emir yesterday. They've killed the king of Ifon, Olufon of Ifon. So why is it that Femi Gbajabiamila believe that we are now a terrorist when we've not and have not instigate anyone to carry weapons to fight the government? And this is part of what and reason more we should come out of Nigeria, because for the last 23 years that these individuals that was somebody of interest in America for fraud has returned back to Nigeria and has become a man in Agbada. But because a lot of Nigerians love their oppressors, people that oppress them, people that lock their ways of becoming somebody. Go and look at the buildings, the surroundings. There is no potable drinking water in Surulere as I speak to you right now, where Femi Gbajabiamila. Go and see the environment and you will cry for humanity. The terrorists that he has committed, the terrorism that he has committed rather, within that particular environment, you will cry for humanity. But rather, these rogues, calling themselves politicians, are more interested to ask the world to believe that we are the terrorists. For 10 years, while he was in the lower chamber, he was unable to give us names, records of those funding terrorists. But those that are not up to him in UAE, in United Arab Emirates, have been able to give us names, jailed Nigerians funding Boko Haram. But Femi Gbajabiamila is more interested to continue to be a stooge for those within the government, just as they've rubber stamped another loan to the federal government and there's nothing to write home about it. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. He said the disruption of economic life and academic activities, as well as the refusal of the group to dialogue or accommodate his different opinion, had placed them on the same pedestal with bandit and Boko Haram. This is Femi Gbajabiamila talking now. That the disruption to economic life, what disruption of economic life has the Yorubas or the Biafra done to Nigeria? Apart from the disruption of the APC, that promised Nigerians a better life when they were coming to power. But more Nigerians are now living in dungeon. More Nigerians are living in poverty. More Nigerians cannot even speak out to say how they feel about the country. Let's take this short interlude and we'll come back in just about a few minutes.
Ìkéde pàtàkì fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá ní tilé toko àti lẹ́yìn odi, pàápàá jùlọ fún àwọn tí ó ń gbé ní ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Ìyíde gbogbogbò ti orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí ó ń bẹ ní ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì yóò wáyé ní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ọjọ́ kìíní oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2021 ní gbọ̀ngàn Trafalgar ní ìlú London. Ẹ wá láti gúúsù, àríwá, ìlà oòrùn, ìwọ̀ oòrùn, ẹ jẹ́ kí a jọ gbé lárugẹ. Kékulé kó gbọ́, kó sọ fún toko. Oòduà á gbè wá o. Olùkéde, media presenters.
That is October 1st rally in London that is already loading. Make sure you are also part of that as well. We're still discussing about this individual known as Femi Gbajabiamila that is comparing us with the Boko Haram because according to him, we do not want to dialogue and we are not ready to listen. We must now add to these concerns an emerging threat that presents the same clear and present danger in the south of Nigeria, east and the west. Miscreants and criminals masquerading as separationist activists have emerged to wreak havoc. Have we the one being wreaking havoc to the lives of Nigerians, or the government that came on so much promises to millions of Nigerians only for us to know that it is all lies? Let's hear this before we go further.
I greet you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I'm your brother, evangelist, Please, this message is particularly for United Nations. I want to ask United Nations, this bloodshed in Nigeria, are you not aware? Since 2009, there has been record of killings and murder of Christians in Nigeria, and the world has been silent over the situation. Majority of the citizens are dying in pain, agony, and sorrow. I want to ask the United Nations and the world, why this lack of interest in the genocide going on in Nigeria? This is a pure political apathy. I am quite sure that if it were in London or Germany, Russia or Canada, that this bloodshed is going on, United Nations would have gone for their rescue speedily. But why are you people silent over the killing of the Christians in Nigeria? I remember some months ago, Israel and Palestine had a conflict which led to serious war and bomb explosions, loss of lives and properties. Immediately, the United Nations and the world leaders, both the President of America, did all they could to stop the war. But here in Nigeria, since 2009, churches were burnt down, Christians were killed, and innocent blood were shed. Terrorists have been killing citizens of the country.
So the question I'm asking is, where is Femi Gbajabiamila to defend the Muslims, the Christians, and the non-believers, and the traditional believers as well in Nigeria? They've kept quiet. They've kept muted. This is the campaign promise. of the APC. He is also a member of the party. Let's hear this.
Govern Nigeria honestly in accordance with the Constitution. We will strive to secure the country and efficiently manage the economy. We will strive to attract poverty through broadly shared economic growth and attacking corruption through impartial application of the law. We will turn Nigeria to a position of international respect through patriotic foreign policy. Preserving the nation's future is a sacred obligation to all of us in this great party. Shall we at home continue to live in a condition where the power holding company and its successors seem only to have the power to hold us in darkness?
These are part of we'll play more of that before the end of the broadcast. Good evening to you once again, to those of you on YouTube and those of you watching on from different platforms on Instagram. I'd like to welcome every one of you as we're just about 40 minutes away before the end of the program. We're lining up the next music in just about a few minutes. Once again, if you join us, this is Starr Radio UK and this comes to you every Wednesday. I'm reviewing what Femi Gbajabiamila, the speaker, was saying during, on the Green Chamber this morning. Comparing the Biafrans, the IPOB, and the Yoruba, saying, according to him, that we have now become a miscreant and we are becoming a danger, and we are also trying to bring in havoc to Nigeria. And my question to the speaker is, are we the one bringing havoc to Nigeria, or your government that promises every Nigerian you've not been able to give a better life to your constituency in Surulere? These are the questions I am putting to Femi Gbajabiamila this evening. Why are so many Nigerians still dying? But when these politicians are speaking, you try to wonder and figure out what they must have drunk, or what they must have eaten, or what they must have smoking. Because if the speaker representing Nigerians and his constituency can come out and say that the Yorubas and the Igbo or the Biafrans or the Middle Belt, the Lower Niger, whatever you want to call them, and comparing us to Boko Haram, then he must be smoking something that we do not know what he's smoking. He must be smoking something. This man called Femi Gbajabiamila, he is definitely smoking something. This is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's read more from that report. These people, that is us, in their inclination for devastating violence against fellow citizens, their appetite for the whole schools have been shut down because of the terrorist attack. Femi Gbajabiamila cannot see that. Fawa Leye says, Gbajabiamila is a dog or pig that feed from the dustbin. I totally agree. A man was adopted in Ibadan today, according to Olayomi Hamzat. I have that video. These are the politicians that promises everything to millions of Nigerians. But today, some of those promises are already in the bin. Let's hear more from those promises campaign in 2015, 6 years ago.
Shall we continue in a situation where 250 of our daughters have been abducted and the government has been unable?
This is Buhari speaking to Nigerians that can you imagine when the Chibok girls were kidnapped? Do you know how many children, school children, are still in the hands of the terrorists in Nigeria as we speak right now? Oh yes, we've talked about that earlier, Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph is Joshua rather. Sorry about that. He's also telling us Femi Gbajabiamila is a convicted felony in the United States. He should be removed from his position as the majority leader of the House. But we are in a corrupt system in Nigeria. It's not going to be removed. Good evening to you, Mrs. Stella Ojo. Welcome to the program. This is Star Radio UK. Like I said, we're just about 27 minutes away. I want us to hear more of the campaign promises of APC, and my opinion is calling them Al Qaeda. Could not access Twitter, and some were probably making maybe 1,000 naira a day for whatever businesses they were doing on Twitter. Because we now know, according to Twitter, that Nigerians have lost 246 billion naira. Somebody here says on Instagram, they write that lies for him to read out to his full followers. Okay, so probably Buhari did not even understand what he was reading. I'm sure that is what you mean. You should have already known by that they wrote that speech for Buhari. Okay, so if they wrote that speech for Buhari, Buhari should know that that speech is not really worth reading out. He should have complained about it. How come he went ahead and still read that that what you might call a contraction episode or episodes of that? Let's see what we can get from there's something I want us to song we're preparing for us. Who is in control? Buhari says, I will have compassionate for every Nigerian. But it's all lies. It's all lies, because we know now that he never meant that, because like somebody said, all that were written for him. Let's hear this music.
President of Nigeria is given the Deputy Speaker is Fulani, the Army Chief of Staff is Fulani, Navy Chief is Fulani, Police IG Fulani, DSS is Fulani, National Intelligence Agency Fulani, National Security Advisor is Cameroon Republic. Change your way. Why do you hate the world? I want to prove to all your slave fools that the hatred today.
The hatred is not just to the Igbo people. The hatred was also to millions of Nigerians. And the question this evening is, why should we? Somebody said Boko Haram is family to Lai Mohammed. We're just 2 minutes before 7:30 where we take you through to some of the activities. And for those of you that are still wondering whether it is all over at the United Nations, it's a 10-day program. If you can still make it down to New York, please do so. Please do so. If you can make it down to New York, let us do so. It is very, very important that we continue to highlight genocide, raping, killing, civil war in Nigeria, horror in Nigeria. Chief Sunday Igboho's house was raided, ethnic cleansing, land grabbing, and all the terrific situation that has been occurring in Nigeria. Once again, I say good evening to everyone that is still with us. We're just about half an hour before the end of the program. Let's hear a little bit more from Fulanization of Nigeria. Even the never comrade Olayomi told us that there are some individuals, groups of people that have the intention that Nigeria should be an Islamic country.
Was brought about by Fulani terrorism. Is it very clear to you now how they go? Is it very clear? Listen to the minister. Listen to defense. Listen to finance. Somebody that studied the Sharia law is the head.
Somebody that studied the Sharia law is, the Chief Justice of Nigeria is the head of the CGN program. And then I will link you up with our producer here in London, where we can give you one of the best discounts so that you can have your product, your services that you do to be aired around the globe. So I received this, from my mom. Quite a lot is happening in Nigeria every day. The pain, the road network, everywhere is just pain. But this is what I got. Buhari is the first president to have a first lady resident in Dubai. The wife of the president was living in Dubai for more than 6 months, even not up to 8 months. It can only happen in Nigeria. Buhari is the first president to ban Twitter. Do you understand what that means? He's leaving a legacy that history will remember him for. Buhari is the first president to make Nigeria poorer for 6 consecutive years. Now, wow, Oga. Let's hear this.
My brother, this is after 2. I have to point at Koiki. You can never get to London before I get to Lucky. I will never disgrace of someone who will not be happy with me. How can you get to London before I get to Lucky?
There's just so much stress in that country. There's comedy, but the reality is a lot of Nigerians. This individual that I'm just watching was running because his brother must just have got on a flight to London, and he doesn't want to disgrace the governor Sanwo-Olu for the hectic traffic in Lagos, where his brother would have arrived back in his house and he's still in traffic. Do you know that happen all the time? Only in Nigeria. And when we talk about self-determination, someone like Femi Gbajabiamila, this honorable speaker, according to him, says IPOB, Yoruba Nation agitators, are not different from Boko Haram terrorists. That is what he said at the lower chamber or the green chamber this morning, comparing us, comparing Professor Banji Akintoye, comparing Chief Sunday Igboho, comparing myself and most of us that believe that the 1914 amalgamation has expired and it is time that we disintegrate Nigeria through a referendum. This is what they think about us. So we're going to be giving you some kind of background to some of the activities after watching this other video that was just sent to me. I'd like to appreciate every single one of you. Let's just go and hear more from some of those that attended the rally. Let's first go to Canada. This is what we got from Canada. That was some prayer to Chief Sunday Igboho all the way in Canada. We'd like to appreciate all those Canadians. Let's hear what Professor Banji Akintoye, one of his videos that was transmitted to the United Nations protest that was going on since yesterday.
I welcome you all representatives of the peoples of the South and Middle Belt of Nigeria, the indigenous peoples of Nigeria representing 75% of the population and land area of Nigeria. We are here to bring before the world the disaster that is developing in Nigeria and to ask the United Nations as the voice of the world to intervene immediately to stop the disaster that is developing, the killing of people, the mass killing of people, and
We shall overcome. That is the emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. Let's first see to the activities in New York, and then we take you to some of those activities of what happened as well at Liverpool last weekend as well. So those are part of this, audio coming out of the ongoing when we were on Saturday, all the way say no to Well, that is part of the some of the activities last week, but we can also tell you there's still more. Let's see if we can get one more. There was a speaker that spoke eloquently during that event at Liverpool. I will try and get that prepared for us in just about a few minutes, but let us hear this as well. Yeah, bear with me there. Also, I was able to visit the the International Slavery Museum, where I got more information to the background of the role Liverpool played during the slavery days. I mean, this started in 1750 and up to 1807 when it was eventually the abolition of slavery. But eventually there was still about some more years before it eventually faded away. I mean, you could feel the energy, in that building, and to kind of play back, some of what our forefathers, must have gone through, being brought to the shore of UK to Liverpool, precisely where, a lot of them, were kind of, not their will to have traveled down here. And the question I kept asking a lot of people, and I couldn't get the answer is, were we Nigerians in 1850? No, we were not Nigerians. We were Yorubas, and there were the other tribes, and the other tribes, and the other tribes, until Britain decided that in 1914 it was best option for them, not for us, but for economic reasons, to merge us together with the other tribes that is now giving us a lot of havoc. I mean, no terrorist would have had access to come into United Kingdom just like that. You must have to go through the rigorous border check before you can come in. Even though we do know that people get through the Channel Island, through the Channel, from those coming from France, but you still know that there's a lot of security. But if only we could have been left the way we were in 1850, today we would not have been going through what we are discussing today. Thank you very much, Olatunji Pukola. Thank you, those of you that are still with us, as we're just about 20 minutes before the end of the program this evening. Now, there's a segment where we discuss mostly everything about the Yoruba Nation agitation, the Biafras. Nnamdi Kanu is still being held, in the DSS custody. Lady K is held in the DSS custody. Oladele is held in the DSS custody. And we kept asking, why should people that are demanding, a free self-determination, but now we know more reason why they must still be there, because if somebody like Gbajabiamila is against us, I'm sure he, as an individual, is somebody that is also putting fire underneath to make sure that people like, the first 12 people that were kept in the DSS until we were able to get the bill for 10 of them, the 12 of them rather, but 2 were kept behind. So we won't be surprised if Femi Gbajabiamila is saying to the DSS, keep Lady K, keep Oladele, because they are part of those creating havoc to Nigerians. Let's hear this, and this is part of what took place at Liverpool on Saturday. Yoruba Nation was shouted quite a lot during that procession at Liverpool. And once again, we'd like to say thank you very much to Sister Buki Taiwo, Mamawa Grace, and all our mothers that drive all the way from London. I traveled about 5 hours on the coach. I was able to show you, what it looks like and what we expect if truly Nigeria was working after 61 years. I showed you the road network heading down to Liverpool. It was a 5 hours journey, and nobody was kidnapped. Nobody had to pay ransom to get me from the terrorists, that has kidnapped me. And this is why we are now saying, according to the United Nations self-determination, that is a right, is not a crime. We are determining to, we are asking, the international community to listen to us and give us those referendum to decide whether we still want to be part of Nigeria. We are not interested in the 2023 general election. It is not helpful for us. It is not vital for us. It's not really fruitful for us. And that is why we are demanding that. So 5 hours journey to those of us that traveled by road, and 2 hours journey to those that went by the train as well. But we'd like to also say thank you very much to the organizer of that particular event as well. We're expecting more of that to come up as well. Yesterday, we had people that traveled down to Stratford as well, to join some of the activists as well. And to those of you that are watching from around the globe, you can also be part of these. We can understand those in Nigeria. The Nigerian government does not want people to get protest so that, their voices will not be heard. But I believe that at some point, that would eventually still have to come back, because you cannot stop people from demanding their right. We are not a military dictator. Buhari is not in a military uniform. We have the right to cross-check him and his cabinet and his policies that he has put out when they were coming in 2015 and when they were returning back in 2019. Some of those policies is having big impact on so many Nigerians. The exchange rate is becoming much havoc, disaster for millions of Nigerians that are running businesses, whether in Nigeria or outside the country. So our job from here, or from those operating in different parts of the globe, is to cross-check the government. We are not practicing, military anymore. We are in civilian rule, and we must ask those questions from Buhari to Osibajo to every single one of them, and they would have to come and give us those answers. If otherwise, we will continue to talk about them, and we will continue to expose them to the international world of some of the atrocity, like I said, raping, genocide, crime against humanity, killings of the Christians, killing of the Muslims, killing of the traditionalists as well. 6 years consecutively, Nigeria has been on the Global Terrorism Index. 6 years since this government, Nigeria remained the capital poverty of the world. And you can ask yourself, you can believe them, but I can tell you, 87 million of you today, 15th of September 2021, are people living in extreme poverty as well. So Yoruba Nation is not a crime. Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, and those that deserve to be free would definitely have to be free. Let's hear it one more time. Yoruba Nation now, Yoruba Nation now. A lot of people are asking, what next after the UN General Assembly? Do we get a referendum just like that? What is going to happen after that? All that will be, communicated to us through the communique from the leaders of the Ilana Modu. I would like to appreciate all the different groups as well, the Global Directorate, the YNN, the YOV, and every group from around the globe that are working tirelessly to make sure that, Yorubas can come out faithfully out of the contraction we call Nigeria, because Nigeria as well is a crime scene. Let's enjoy this, track. Yoruba Nation is not a crime, and like I always say, you're still with us on Star Radio UK. We're just about 12 minutes away. I'd like to still appreciate my producer, Frank and Archie. But tomorrow is the property hour on Star Radio UK. But every Monday to Friday, you can join me on Star Radio UK, where we are reporting from different parts of the country. And we don't know where we could be. We could be anywhere. But this week, we're planning to be somewhere. I'm not going to leak that out to you yet. You can also follow me on all my own social media handles as well. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook, on every part of these social media handle. But one thing is, why should we be part of a country that we know it's not working? According to Mrs. Stella Ojo, Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igbowosha, I call him the Umole of Yoruba land, is not a terrorist and not a criminal. You're quite right. Every Monday to Friday, you can catch me at 11 o'clock on Star Radio UK, where we look at so many things that is happening as well. Let's quickly hear this from our brother, and then why do you think it is normal thing? That is the question. Let's hear that in just about 2 minutes. Once again, a very good evening. Welcome, as we are just less than 10 minutes before the end of the program this evening. Thank you very much, Bolaji198 on Instagram. God bless Mr. Koiki, Yoruba Nation now. Campaign Yoruba Nation now. Follow YNN, Yoruba Nation now campaign. Make sure you follow them because they've been working very hard. I think Dr. Ali will be speaking as well. We say congratulations to every Yorubas that are working tirelessly, whether in your group, in your WhatsApp group. Don't let us relent. Let us continue to also tell those at home the reason why as a fake kúrò nínú Nigeria.
This is a message for Nigerian citizens. Why do you think killing is a normal thing? Why do you think not to have electricity is a normal thing? Why do you think bad roads is a normal thing? Why do you think not to have good hospital is a normal thing? Why do you think not to be able to eat 3 square meal is a normal thing? Why do you think not to have a better life is a normal thing? Why do you think people leaving the country for greener pasture is a normal thing? Why do you think after graduating in the university you cannot get a job is a normal thing? Why do you think as a man you cannot take care of your home is a normal thing? Why do you think Fulani tribe are saying they own the land is a normal thing? Why do you think the white man brought us together is a normal thing? Why do you think the politicians are looting our money is a normal thing? Why do you think the politicians travel abroad when they need medical attention is a normal thing? Why do you think the educational system in Nigeria has collapsed is a normal thing? Why do you think the politicians send their children to study abroad is a normal thing? Why do you think after election the politicians don't care about us is a normal thing? Why do you think the Fulani terrorists attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy and killing of Nigerian army is a normal thing? Why do you think all this genocide happening in Nigeria is a normal thing? Why do you think Fulani terrorists killing and shouting they are still keeping us as one. It's a normal thing.
Why do you think it's a normal thing? Is a question I want you to also be taking away with you this evening as we're just almost bringing the program to an end. Once again, remember to follow us on Star Radio UK, and make sure you also, for your African produce, check on www.oluwonderful.com. I'd like to appreciate all our followers from different parts of the globe. We'd like to appreciate you from Japan to New Zealand to Malaysia to India to Cotonou in Benin Republic to Ghana, to those of you in Nigeria, in different part of the Yoruba land and outside the Yoruba land as well. I'd like to appreciate those of you in Kenya, Ethiopia, South Africa, Austria, Belgium. I'd like to appreciate those of you in Turkey. We'd like to appreciate some of you in Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. We'd like to appreciate some of you in Jamaica, in Brazil, Morocco, Egypt, Qatar, Oman, and all the global world that we are all living. I would like to say thank you very much as well. Let me just put this through. This is a wiki after one of the Southeast governor paid a visit to the president, Muhammadu Buhari, and was saying, God, please let us have somebody like Buhari again. This is the response that Wike had to give to that governor from Southeast as well.
Saying that he breathes. Nigeria gets I said, no. What has gone wrong? I mean, you mean there shouldn't be psychiatric test on that governor? You see, circumstances. And you know that president knows that they're telling lies.
That is the area I want us to, to hold on to. I mean, we can, even though, they're all the same, says that, this, it's just all lies. The president knows he's telling lies. And just like the president traveled down to Imo State, and if you look at the trouser that the president was putting on, you will ask yourself whether it was Abba, the tailor, that showed that particular outfit. Let's hear this one more time.
Yeah, that's why you're saying that he prays. Nigeria gets I said, no. What has gone wrong with I mean, you mean there shouldn't be psychiatric check on that governor? You see, circumstances. And you know that president knows that you're telling lies.
He knows that president knows that he's telling lie. And who is that governor? What is the name of the governor? That was, Dr. or the Ebonyi State Governor, Mr. David Umahi. And just like, the Imo State Governor, these are all governors that are just all telling lies to millions of Nigerians as well. We're just 3 minutes before, or less than 2 minutes rather, because I have to hand over in just about 2 minutes or so. We'd like to appreciate every single one of you that have joined us again this evening. I'll be back same time next week. But please let us remember Lady K and Oladele, wherever we are across the globe. And let us continue to tell the federal government that both of them are not terrorists, just like the rest of them as well. Most of the governors, according to Sunday on YouTube, and the speakers are Fulani houseboy. I totally agree with that as well. So as we are leaving you this evening, I want us to say thank you very much to our sponsor. Thank you very much to every one of you. And I'll be leaving you with this particular track while I'm going to be handing over back to the studio here in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I hope you've enjoyed the program this evening. I'll be back again same time next week. Just waiting for that to come up, and then there's a bit of sometimes network delay, but hopefully we will get a bit of that before the studio take it from me. But if you're just joining us, you might have to sit back and enjoy it again after we've completed it as well. But for now, let's hand over back to the studio from here. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'll be back same time next week on Niger Voices every Wednesday. Bye for now. Thank you. We'll be back again same time next week, or join me tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on Star Radio UK. Bye for now.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? You will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property,